in 1989, I believe it was, in the lower Colorado River, the rice farmers basically went into court with the lower Colorado River Authority over water, and the judge determined that rice water was interruptible water as opposed to firm water, which was bought and sold to business, industry, municipalities, those types of folks that would pay a little more for water that would be guaranteed regardless of the situation, whatever the drought was. So it became a separated pool of water, unlike it was for the first 80 years that it was in place in that portion of the river. During 2011, we had a severe drought. The drought was probably started in 1995, off and on a little bit, but by 2011, that was one of the worst years that we've ever seen. That period, 2011, was so low that it brought the Highland lakes down substantially. And under the contract with the rice farmers, they continued to supply water during that drought to those fields to finish off the fields. That further depleted the reservoirs besides the evaporation taking place on the lakes. And of course, a lot of use in the cities themselves to water lawns. That then precipitated a cutoff of water to rice as interruptible. And so rice farmers were cut off in 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015, 4 years that they were cut off for water for rice growth. So that was, a terrible blow to those communities down here in the lower Colorado River Basin. It affected, not just those individual farmers and the people that they hire and those types of things. It also affected your ag businesses, your rice seed locations, both the mills and the storage. It affected the tractor sales. It affected the banks. It was a pretty devastating impact to those rice farmers. But what we saw was a declining goose population that hit that time in 2012 through 2016. And it just almost, you saw the geese come in and you turn before too long, the geese moved, and the geese basically have moved into Arkansas. And they had already started moving into Arkansas, that Mississippi Alluvial Valley there, the MAV. And because rice was already growing in that area. And you saw white-fronted geese, we think, moving more into that area, and then snow geese begin to stay longer. And so you had this combination of things where they had no water on that rice prairie. There was no water being put out there on that rice prairie anymore for 4 years. So when the geese came down, there was really no rice outside of rice that was being farmed on areas that had groundwater. So those are the things that you had to see, is that the reduction in the number of acres was well over 50% of the rice. And so you took a food resource that had already been declining from 600,000 acres down toward 200,000 acres, and now you reduce that by more than half. So the impact on those lesser snow geese populations in Texas that were already starting to decline, we think because of the decline of the rice itself on the landscape, was just significant.